Sairam students, I hope all of you are doing good. In our today's class, we will start with a new topic in our writing skills, and the name of the topic is dialogue writing. So just keep a book and a pen handy to note down all the important points, the rules, the format that I'll be teaching you of dialogue writing. So let us understand what is a dialogue. Dialogue is a written or a spoken conversational exchange between two or more people. When two or more people talk or there is a conversational exchange, it is called as dialogue. In fiction, dialogue is a verbal exchange between two or more characters. Your stories you must have read. Okay, even there the characters they converse with each other. If only one person talks, it is a monologue. And dialogues are an effective tool of communication. Why? Because they help people to express themselves. Okay? It allows for a powerful expression of feeling and adds humor. So, with the help of dialogue, a person can express himself or herself. It forms the basis of any literary work and makes it enjoyable and lively. So, any stories or any poems that we have, or your lessons that that you're learning in grade 7, if you see there are dialogues in that as well. So why do you think we have dialogues? It just helps to make the lesson or the poem or the story enjoyable and lively. Moving ahead, let us see what are the rules for writing dialogue. Please jot them down, students. While writing a dialogue, one must always use appropriate language and short and simple sentences. Don't write paragraphs and paragraphs for one character. No. Okay? One must always use short and simple sentences, and also there should be use of appropriate language. Avoid using slangs. Like for yes, we have yay. So avoid using all these slangs. There must be a continuity in the ideas of the dialogue, and right punctuation should be used to express the mood and tone of the dialogue. So when you start writing a dialogue, okay, the most important thing is, the ideas, there should be a continuity. Okay, there should be flow of ideas, and also right punctuations should be used to express the mood and the tone of the dialogue. If we are asking a question, don't forget to put a question mark. If it's a sudden reaction, a sudden emotion, don't forget to use an exclamation mark. So yes, punctuation also plays a very important role. A dialogue should also suit the character of the speaker. Yes. Okay, if it's a shopkeeper, okay, and he is having a conversation with a customer, so dialogues should be such that it suits the character of the shopkeeper. What all questions he may ask to a customer. Keep your dialogue brief and impactful. Don't write lengthy dialogues. Let it not be a very lengthy one. Keep it brief and let it have an impact on the reader who is reading it. Use proper tense. So when you write a dialogue, okay, basically we write in present tense. But when you are referring to something in the past, yes, the tense can be changed. When the names of the speaker are not mentioned, the dialogue should be written within quotation marks. In such cases, attributions like he said, she replied, etc. should be included. If in case, while writing a dialogue, okay, the name of the name of the speaker is not mentioned, then what are we supposed to do? We should write it within quotation marks. What are quotation marks? Can you see over here? These are your quotation marks. Clear? And then in such cases is what? In such cases is cases where the speaker's name is not given. In such cases, what should we use? We should use he said, she said, she replied. So all these things should be, all such attributions should be used. I hope I'm very clear, students. So what did I just say? When the name of the speaker is not mentioned, okay, first of all, the dialogue should come within quotation marks. Plus we should use attributions like he said, she replied, etc. Moving ahead to the next rule. When the name of the speakers are included, they should be followed by a colon mark. Okay. So when the name of the speaker is given, okay, in this case, Rita. So Rita is a speaker. Mr. Rao, again he is a speaker. So if you see carefully, what can we see is Rita is followed by a colon mark. Mr. Rao is followed by a colon mark. Okay. So when the names are given, we should see to it that again proper punctuations are used. Okay. We use a colon mark. Now Rita, how may I help you? Don't forget to put this question mark. Again, Mr. Rao, could you tell me the way to the boardroom? Again, a question mark is needed. Moving on to the next rule. Every time the speaker changes, a new line should be used. Now pay attention over here. This is the third rule that we are doing. First is, look over here carefully. Mother, after mother we have the colon and she's asking question, what time will you be back? Now the dialogue has changed to Seema. The next speaker is Seema. So if you see carefully, we have changed a line. Okay, we are using a fresh line, a new line. We should never continue the dialogue from here. Whenever the speaker changes, always and always use a new line to start the dialogue. So here we have Seema's dialogue. Okay. And then again if you see, we have mother's dialogue. Again it is coming on a fresh line. Okay. So every time when the speaker changes, a new line should be used. Next rule. Okay, let's move on to the format of dialogue. See, there is no specific format like how we have letter writing. We are writing on the left hand side all the details. But for dialogue, there is not a specific format. But it would be better if you give a small introduction before you start writing the actual dialogue. And why is that important, students? Because it helps the reader to understand what the dialogue is all about. So in brackets you will put this. Okay, this introduction part. I will be dealing with an example wherein I will show you, okay, how to write the introduction. So don't forget to write the introduction. Then the start may be informal or formal depending on the situation. Now what do you understand by informal or formal? Informal is when you talk to your friends. Okay. So that type of, when you're talking to your friends, that dialogue can have a different start. But a formal, for example, if you're having a dialogue with a teacher, definitely it has to be a formal one. If you're having a dialogue with the principal or the police commissioner, okay, or the editor for that matter. Okay, with such people, with all these people, we need to have a formal start. Good morning, sir. Okay, with your friend, you can ask your friend, hi, how are you? Okay, so depending on the situation with whom you are having a dialogue with, you can either give a formal start or an informal one. Okay, give a proper conclusion. It's very, very important. Okay, generally what students do is, once the dialogue comes to an end, they write, okay, bye, mommy is calling, okay, bye, papa is calling, I have to go for my tuition class. No, this is not the way you end your dialogue. Okay, you have to conclude relating to your topic. You have to give a proper conclusion. Okay, again, don't end abruptly. Give a proper conclusion. Moving ahead, points to be remembered while writing a dialogue. The students need to read the preceding and following dialogues, study the arguments and opinions of both the characters. Let me explain this to you. You can get dialogue in this way also. Okay, this is one way of asking dialogue writing question, wherein we are asking you to complete the dialogue. What the first thing that you will do is, students, you will read the entire conversation. There are blanks, but how can you understand what will come in that particular blank? Just by reading one line or just by reading the head question? No. For this, you have to understand, what is Megha speaking in this dialogue? What Smriti is trying to say. So both the sides you have to understand, and then only you can proceed writing the dialogue. So your first and the most important thing is, the students need to read the preceding and the following dialogues, and study the arguments and opinions of both the characters. Of both characters, you have to understand what they are speaking. Only after that you will be able to fill in the details. Note down such arguments or opinions and make a rough draft. So once you get a topic, okay, the first important thing is you have to understand what the topic is all about, and make a rough draft. If there's a conversation between a shopkeeper and a customer, you can directly not start with, okay, fine, I'll buy this product, and then you go to the price and then you ask for packaging. No, there should be a logical sequence. So when you make a rough draft, it helps you to put it in a logical sequence. So our next point says, then put them in logical sequence so that in final draft they appear natural. So once you chalk out a rough plan, a rough draft of the dialogue, try to put the dialogue in a logical sequence. There should be an order which is to be followed. Okay? And why this order has to be maintained? So that it looks very natural. Try to imagine to be really the character concerned to express her possible utterances in a particular situation. Okay, now when I give you a topic, a shopkeeper and customer, you have to imagine yourself as a shopkeeper. That as a shopkeeper, what questions will you ask the customer? Or as a customer, if you intend to buy something, what all questions will you ask? For example, if you wish to buy a mobile phone, you may have many questions in your mind. Okay, first you will ask about the storage capacity. You'll ask about the camera. Okay, slowly after getting the details of the device, you will ask the price, any discounts. Okay, you directly will not jump to discount. Okay, there is a way in which the dialogue has to proceed. Okay, so always make a rough draft. It helps you to put the points in logical sequence. The words used should not be vague and should convey the message. Yes, don't use any vague words. And see to it the words that you are using, it conveys message. Keep in mind that the dialogue, when completed, should read like a spontaneous conversation. Yes, your dialogue should look like a spontaneous conversation. Our next point is avoid stilted and bookish phrases. What is stilted? Stilted is an artificial way of being formal. And avoid using lines from different books. Keep it as natural as you can. Try to remember how real people talk in friendly conversation and produce the conversational style as best as you can. So, how will a store attendant, how will a shopkeeper speak to a customer? Okay, just imagine that when you have to write a dialogue between a shopkeeper and a customer, what question will the shopkeeper ask? What questions will the customer ask? And try to reproduce a conversational style of a similar way. Now, students, I have an example for you. This is a conversation between a store attendant and a girl who intends to buy a creative gift. If you look carefully over here, students, I have given a short introduction over here. Okay? And it is in brackets. Sakshi, I have given this girl a name, Sakshi. She has to attend her friend's birthday party. She plans to buy a gift for her friend. Following is a short conversation between Sakshi and the store attendant. So as a reader, I'll come to know what exactly the dialogue is all about. Store attendant. Hello, how may I help you? Students, one more thing, just recollect. When I am reading the dialogue, just go through all the rules over here itself. For example, we have after store attendant, there is a colon mark over here. After Sakshi, there's a colon mark over here. Whenever a new dialogue has begun, it's on a new line. Look at the punctuations used. Okay, so you will also make a note of all these things and see how it ends. Now, a dialogue between a store attendant and the girl has to be a formal one. Okay, so it has begun in a very formal way. Clear? Proceeding further. Store attendant. Hello, how may I help you? Sakshi. Hi, I was looking for a present for my friend. Could you help me select one? Store attendant. Yes, of course. What exactly are you looking for? Sakshi. Well, my friend is a very creative person, so I would like to give her something she could work on. Store attendant. Does your friend like ornaments? Sakshi. Yes, she does. But she prefers to make her own ornaments. Store attendant. Well, then I just have the gift you are looking for. Sakshi. What is it? Store attendant. This is an ornament making set. It contains a colorful range of strings, beads, stones. It also contains hooks and chains. Your friend will love it. Sakshi. This looks attractive. How much does it cost? Store attendant. Only $2.99. If you would like, I can show you some handmade card which you could couple with this. Sakshi. That would not be necessary. I already bought a card. Kindly gift wrap this for me. And there the dialogue comes to an end. Okay? Okay, students, the second example that I have is basically, it was in a fill in the blanks format. Okay, and we had to read the conversation and complete the dialogue in a suitable way. In this case, I have completed the dialogue for you. Keep one thing in mind, students, when we give you a topic to write. For example, in the previous one, I gave you the topic, write a conversation between a shopkeeper and a girl who wishes to buy a gift. There we gave an introduction. Okay. In this case, the question will come in the given manner. Only blanks will be given to you. Here the blanks I have already filled. Okay. So in this case, where questions you get like this, you need not write the introduction. Clear? Okay, so let us read. Read the conversation between two friends and complete the dialogue in a suitable way. So there was a blank over here. There was a blank over here. Okay, so all these blanks I have already filled for you. Shruti, did you visit the book fair in Pragati Maidan? Arushi, no. Did you? Shruti, yes, I did. Arushi, did you buy any books? Shruti, yes, I bought books on science fiction. Arushi, well, what sort of science fiction books did you buy? Shruti, stories about space and unidentified flying objects. Arushi, were there books of any other subject available? Shruti, yes, books of all the subjects were available there. Arushi, do you have any idea what is the last date of the fair? Shruti, I guess it'll go on till 30th of this month. Arushi, then I'll definitely go there and buy some good books. Okay, so that is how you will conclude your dialogue. Clear? Please don't write, okay, bye, my mother is calling, my father is calling, I have to go for my tuition class. No, students, that, you will not conclude your dialogues that way. So students, don't forget to go through the rules again. There is another assignment waiting for you. Okay, this assignment is basically, you have to write in your composition book, wherein you will write a dialogue between a customer and a shopkeeper, wherein the customer realizes that the shopkeeper is being unfair to him. So how can shopkeepers be unfair? What wrong can, how can they do, or what wrong can they do? So basically, when the customer, he or she buys something, okay, and pays more and the weight is less, that is one way in which the shopkeeper can cheat the customer. Second, when a shopkeeper tries to sell some product whose expiry date has already crossed, okay, the product is not good to be sold, that is another way. Okay, or when a shopkeeper tries to stick another tag of price on the actual price. So these are various ways in which the shopkeeper can be unfair to the customer. So you have to construct a dialogue wherein the customer makes the shopkeeper realize his mistake. And this has to be written in your composition book or rough book. Please don't forget to go through the rules and regulations again, students. For today, that's it. I'll catch up with you very soon. Until we meet next, take care of yourself. Sai Ram. Bye-bye.